Well, finally we're here. So, welcome to those of you who intend to join. And this seems to have a bit of lag, but we are finally live on this event, which is improv theater and graphic recording. Now, until some people join, I'll keep talking and talking. And what is it? Well, finally we're here. So, welcome to those of you who intend to join. And this seems to have a bit of lag, but I had to turn myself off because I was getting myself on the feed. And as Roy had previously described, there is about a 3 or 10 second lag between the live broadcast, which 10 of you may join and observe in real time, and the delayed YouTube broadcast, which up to 100 people could follow. But those of you who are here are the lucky 10. So back to my idea of why we need to talk about improv theater and graphic recording. For those of you who are not quite sure of what improv theater is, the improv theater people say life is improv theater because you never know what is coming and you need to respond to whatever is happening in real time. Let's switch over to graphic recording. Graphic recording, as we know, those who are visual practitioners, various number of terms, doodling, sketchnoting, idea sketching, visual practice, and so forth. And the idea is to capture what people are talking about and record it on paper in images and words. The very reason why graphic recording and improv theater meet together is because as a graphic recorder, you're standing there in front of the board, not quite knowing what is going to happen. The speaker may have briefed. You might be knowing that they're talking about aeronautics or how to sell cakes. And you might even have the PowerPoint or the script. But chances are, most people do not necessarily follow the prepared material 100%. And the job of the graphic recorder is to capture the essence of whatever is being presented and put it down on paper. And it's precisely because that as the event unfolds, various things might happen. Loss of power, somebody cracks a joke, somebody asks a different question, the speaker goes off at a tangent. For all those reasons, the graphic recorder needs to be on their toes, and therefore they need to improvise and make up as you go along. Now, let's see whether we can invite some questions and answers. No questions and answers have been disabled. Let's see whether anybody else has joined. A number of people had promised they'd be joining us, and I've started early, so all of this could be a practice. Now, I'm just wondering, if I stop the broadcast, what would happen? Would it be all lost? Well, saw a little tick tailor there that said that I'd be able to broadcast for 8 hours. Don't worry, I'm not going to go on for 8 hours. But let's just see. Let's scribe on with my Copic marker. seeing quite clearly, improv theatre, and graphic recording. Yes, there's a topic title. And just to see what we can add. A word from our sponsors. Not really, but Guido, if you're watching this is for you. We all love our markers, and here's something to make you drool. You see, here was a Chinese brush roll, and I cut it in half, and I added on elastic tape, and this therefore is my holster for my Newland markers. I've got a second one for the bigger markers. Reach down and get them in. These are the bigger markers here, and these are the smaller markers here. And the cost price of the mat was probably under $10. Then I chopped it in half with a hacksaw and added on the elastic tape to make my holder. My big pens, therefore, all in a row and sit nicely in my bag. And my small pens are here, all in a row, and sit nicely in my bag. Now, it seems that we have one viewer, and let's see whether I can find, is it me who's watching me or who? I don't know. Are you there? Who's here? Speak up. Hello? Are you here? Am I alone? Oh, there was 0 viewers. So somebody is trying to join, but maybe not successfully. They haven't quite got all the paraphernalia. And let me see. Oh, I got one viewer now again. One viewer, one viewer. Who are you, dear? Who is viewing? No, am I very clever to watch who's viewing? No, it wasn't that. Who is trying to view? Who is trying to view? Who is trying to view? Who is with me? Can you say? Who is that? Hello? Can you add a chat? Who is it? Screen share. That's not screen share. Showcase. Showcase Q&A. Capture. Cameraman. And control room. Let's try control room. Let's try control room. I should be able to toggle whoever's there. Not quite. Pencil. No, I don't need pencil. Maybe that's control room. Who's only me? Oh. Toolbox. Okay. Let's go back to control room. So the control room just says it's zoom in. So zoom in is viewing. Lim zoom in is viewing. I'm looking at myself, which is quite a nice experience. And we'll wait patiently for some others. It is the opening session of On Air, Improve Theatre and Graphic Recording. I started 5 minutes early to get a hang of this thing and been happily waiting for my participants. So far, I've discovered it's me and myself talking, and I'm getting used to the sound of my own voice. And I managed to open up a chat box, I think, And so far, no other chat comments have come in. And screen share. I just wanted have a quick look at email. Oh, I should look at the emails on my iPhone so it doesn't clog up this system. Let's switch back off the MacBook, iPhone, and check my mail. And mail says updated and nothing new in. And here we go. Still one viewer who is myself. And no, there's no recent email coming in. So I did have at least a few positive replies, but from past experience, sometimes people come in late, sometimes people forget, sometimes people have the wrong date in mind, or the different time zones that catches people out. And yet sometimes we still connect, which is quite a nice thing. So the apparent message is to keep talking to yourself. Okay, so as we look at improv theater and graphic recording, and one of the questions that comes to mind is it possible to develop your improv theater muscles, part of brain? And the answer is probably yes. So the improv theater people have a number of improv theater activities which they use, and it's quite fun in a group. I guess as we have a few participants online, we could start talking about those and see how we could develop sessions of improv theater while on Google Hangout, and by so doing, let these develop our improv theater muscles, and in so doing, help us to improve our graphic recording capabilities. I imagine that by knowingly improving our improv theater capacity, that gives us confidence to go up to the board, ready to face whatever they throw at you. And from the agility that we develop from improv theater activities, we are ready to respond appropriately and create something of these different elements that are thrown at us expectantly and unexpectedly. So while I'm looking at the marker that I've outlined there, I think I'll add in some highlight just for fun. See how this comes up. So do some shading and just a bit of gentle shading with my gray ink. So it's now 5 or 7 minutes into this session. I plan to go on for an hour, I hope, and see whether somebody comes online, and whether or not they do, I will just take it as a useful experience developing this capacity to develop an online community in Google Hangouts for the graphic recording community, and its marriage to the improv theater community. And so by this, I hope to make my tiny contribution to the world peace and so forth. Well, it's now yet to have anybody else. Yes, I met a nice gentleman in Singapore who was deep into improv theater. He does improv theater, And as I spoke to him about what graphic recording is and why I felt that graphic recording was aided by improv theater, he was quite enthusiastic to see how we could develop a relationship together. So we have circles of graphic recording people, and we have circles of improv theater people, and we all have an area where these two circles intersect. Or maybe I should do that on the wall. Let's choose a nice Newland marker of graphic circles, recording, and I got green on my hand. Where was that glove? Okay, this glovey is supposed to help to protect my hand, and some people have been quite interested in how gloves help the trade. Well, the gloves help the trade in two ways. They protect your hand from inadvertent marker ink, and they look interesting. And here we have the overlapping two circles of graphic recording and improv theater, and where they intersect is what this today's Google Hangout is all about. So here am I, talking to myself for the last 15 minutes, and so hopeful to raise somebody. Now let's just try that I can patch this link to new tab, new window. Let's try new window, and let's do Facebook in and see whether the Facebook login is sending messages. Not quite. Changing. Okay, let's try to advertise the graphic recording. Live now. We'll hang out for 8 minutes. Improv theater and recording, and send it out on Facebook, and hopefully see whether that generates a response. Let's see. And coming back to Lonely Me here, talking to myself, trying to see, checking back on Facebook, checking back on email. See any email messages. The last time, yes, I think we did get some to and froing on Facebook and on emails. So just checking the emails, checking the Facebook. So one of the lessons, of course, it is warning everybody or telling everybody early, and then looking at various different media and portals and channels and hoping something clicks. And again, recognizing that this Google Hangout on air is not that commonly used, and so it takes those within these specialized circles to slowly develop and get used to it. Saying which, specifically, I'll mention Roy Bloomfeld in South Africa, who's been quite good at communicating on Google Hangouts. And so, as we do more and more, I think we'll get in the sync of it. We'll learn how to post our activities and garner responses and participants. And I guess we'll also learn how to continue this art of talking to yourself until people come in. Okay, let's advance the topic of graphic recording and improv theater. And let me talk about a few ideas of some improv theater activity. When I was in Berlin and attended a session on improv theater, one of the things that the facilitator did was, with no instructions, just form a circle, and to the person on the left, he did this. And that person turned to the person on the left and did that. And the next person who received the clap turned to the next person and did that. And so the clap went out the circle. As it returned to the facilitator did. And so the next person copied that, and it went round. Then, I think when the clapping went about 2/3 around the circle, somebody changed the rhythm, maybe made it a 3 clap. And so it became a 3 clap. And somebody, I think, went across the circle. So 3 claps come to me and I go across the circle and made a diving clap to the person across. And so that person turned to another person and made a diving clap. So this element of improv theater within this clapping exercise was first picking up the rules. And part of the rules was that there were no rules, and improvising and making up the game as you went along, making up the rules as you went along, and the other participants within the circle responding to what the other people in the circle were doing. So that I thought was a very interesting activity of improv theater. That was a straightforward pencil paper activity, standard A4 sheet with a number of circles and just draw a face inside. There was draw a picture where we had an A4 picture and paper and draw partial design and then a picture or image and then pass it to the person on the left and they expanded it. We had a circle of 7 people so that your A4 would go to 7 different hands and each one would embellish one of the papers in front of them at a time. And so we ended up with 7 images which people had contributed. We also went into storytelling, and there was that color and what else? So color, tell me more about that. And what else means talking about something different. It could be, for example, talking about the holiday in Rome. Tell me more about the holiday in Rome. Well, I went there with my mother and my brother and my sister, and tell me more. Maybe it's think of what to do, and we stopped for tea, and we said color it. So we want more details about the tea. Color it, and more details about the details of the tea, and color it. So the details about the details about the details of the tea. Tell me more. So what else? And so forth. So that's another improv theater activity. Right. Now, we're 15 minutes, 20 minutes into the activity, and let me just see if I can find any other hint of something else that's going on. Could it possibly be? That's a responsive graphic facilitation, perhaps. Hearing some sound there. Is that me? I hear some clapping. Who's clapping? Clapping. I heard some clapping. Martin. Martin.
Hello, how are you?
Hi there. Welcome. Did you have
Am I
trouble
the first?
getting onto Google?
I'm sorry?
Did you have trouble getting onto Google Hangouts?
No, I don't think so. It was quite easy. I just don't put my camera on because the setup in my home is a little bit strange. So I just talk and listen.
That's
If it's okay
fine.
for you.
It's absolutely okay for me, Martin. I've been talking to myself for a long time, so I'm so glad to be able to be talking to somebody else.
Oh, but I thought it would start in 10 minutes.
Okay, maybe I had put out the timing wrong then. But anyway, it's good that you're 10 minutes early.
Yeah, well, no. I was looking for it and then I saw on Facebook it's right now. And I think, oh, it's now because I thought it was at 3 o'clock.
So it's 3 o'clock in France,
Yeah, in Belgium.
Belgium. Is it a sunny day or a cold day today?
In fact, it's a beautiful day.
How wonderful.
For September, it's really warm and it's a beautiful day. But I'm staying home. I have to work, bookkeeping. So, well,
Great.
so do you think many people will show up or not, or what? Because I think Roy will also be there, no?
I hope he does. I'm not sure, but it's a bit of a mystery of who responds and those who respond, whether they actually could log on or not. Some have, I guess, technical difficulties sometimes, or sometimes they got busy and were doing something else. And
Yeah.
I think my idea is we keep on trying to do these Google Hangouts and everybody would get a better idea about it. Then it becomes a
Mhm.
more easy way of communication.
Yeah, but for me, it was just clicking, and okay, and it works. So it's not the first time.
Right. Is my whiteboard, my paper chart behind visible
Yes,
to you easily?
yes, I see it good. I can see it quite well. Yes.
Yeah, so I had the title of what we're talking about, improv theater and graphic recording, and the red circle would be one of them, improv theater maybe, and the green circle would be the graphic recording, and the two circles have an intersection.
Okay.
And
Are you doing improvisation theater?
well, I had a session at the Berlin conference on improv theater, and at a facilitation meeting in August in Singapore, there was a session on improv theater, and
Okay.
so
I was last year at a conference in Berlin about improvisation theater, and there I did do the graphic recording.
ah,
So it was a
so
3 day all about improv theater.
wow,
Yeah, that was interesting. A lot of workshop. It's like Irvis, but then for improvisational theater. It's like a kind of same conference, but then for the theater. And they invited me to do the graphic recording, so that was fun.
and what was your main take-home message from that?
Oh, that's a difficult question. um, You have to think about that because in the content, it was fun. I know a lot about it. I don't use it, but I know a lot about it. And it was not for the content. For me, my remarks and my experience there was this conference about and something happens for me the same in Jovis. So just a moment, are we recording this? Will it be on YouTube? All this what we are doing? Is it open
Actually,
or is
yes.
okay?
I'm not sure about the confidentiality of this particular one. The one which Roy did was apparently closed, but the way I
Yes.
set it up, I did not take care to close it. So maybe there are things that you don't want to say. It's still okay.
Yes, maybe I have to be. Yes, I will be okay because I want to know who will see it and listening. No, but I can say it. This was a conference about improvisation, and I met some people there, and they came from another network, what is called the Heart of Hosting.
Art of hosting, yes.
Yes. And they wanted to mix it. And they had trouble and they said it's hard to mix it. And my question was why to mix it? Because once a year you have a conference of peers. Why mix it with other things? So just be there. And I got the same feeling at UVIS, where we come there with regional practitioners and they also wanted to mix it with art of hosting. And I don't feel that good for it. If I want art of hosting, I go to art of hosting. If I want to go to improvisation, go to improvisation. But all this mixing, I'm not so happy with that. This doesn't mean you can do a workshop about improv at Jovis, or you could do a workshop about drawing at a conference. But leave the hello.
Hello. I just saw online.
So Martine is explaining to us about her experience last year at Improv Theatre, where she was invited to do graphic recording there. And because I am not sure about the confidentiality of this YouTube broadcast, we are sort of filtering our comments, but she's happy to say what she has said, knowing that it might go to all ears.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, that's a little bit my feeling about conferences. So you have once a year you can meet with your colleagues. So then it's good to stay at the topic and don't do all kind of different stuff. That's my feeling. So yes, and the takeaways in Berlin there were a lot of workshops, a lot of presenters. What was really impressive there at that moment is that Turkish people were telling about what was happening in Turkey at that moment and how it was these protests against, and I have to think now, there was a Taksim Square. There was a big protest in Turkey at that time about at Taksim Square, and these guys are telling about how this whole process was built on improvisation rules, and that was very interesting. So that was my takeaway from that conference.
Right. And with reference to what improv theatre can provide to graphic recording, what would you say, Martin?
Oh, that's for me, that's very clear. And it's not really about the theater, but about the rules of improvisation. And when you go to improvisation, there I don't know them all, but there are some rules. And the one is accept what you get. And I think that's a very important one when we start, when we come there in a company and we have a white sheet of paper. We just go and we accept what we get and we build from there.
Yes.
Another one is make the other shine. So there you have to make the speaker or the content of the meeting shine. For me, these are really basic rules that are very important. And I'm just looking now in a book for the other rules, but so like everything is an offer. Boop, 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 boop.
Everything is an offer.
Yes. So everything is the same as accept what you get. It's like, yes, you start from what you get, and you see it as an offer, not as a problem. Yes, well, for me that's the most important, but really the basic rules and the philosophy of improvisation helps us a lot, I think, in our work.
Hmm.
So Brenda, would you like to comment? What does improv theater have to offer to graphic recorders? We've got 3 rules there that Martine has picked out. She says,
My experience of improv is watching improv, watching improv comedy lah rather. But yeah, so I've not actually been through any improv workshops as much. But I think one of the thing about improv is that the element of connecting ideas as well as having fun. Yeah, I think connecting ideas that may be a bit out. Mm, it's for recording. Sometimes we go into so many different genres of rooms and topics that we need to have that kind of like what you said, Martin, that accept what we get, but at the same time we are also able to connect with other things that we may not be able to see as clearly lah. Um, because things overlap. I always find that things overlap, and 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 being able to see that overlap is helpful, I think. Yeah, and have fun. Yes.
have fun and feel happy to me was an important message. I think as Asians, we take failure as a very bad event, but being able to make mistakes and be happy about the mistakes in graphic recording as part of improv theater lesson to me
Absolutely, yes.
very important.
Mm.
Yes, and yeah, it's like also what's important to be a good improviser is to be fully present. And that, of
Mm.
course, is also important. Also be open and flexible, take risks. Don't be attached to your planning.
Mm. Don't fall
It's
in love
also
with your work.
so in that way, it's like the philosophy of improvisation is very important for our work, I think.
Mm.
And when we have this philosophy and we read somebody else who has also the philosophy, then even if you don't know the person, you can work together.
Yes.
Because somehow it's like jazz players. They have the same rules, and even when they don't know each other, they come together and they can play together because they have the same rules. And then you don't have to exercise or practice because you do the same rules. It's like being present, listen to the other, make the other shine, etc. Build on the other. Then it works even if you don't know the person.
Mm.
And if they don't know the rules, then it's hard to work together.
True. Yeah, actually, knowing the rules provide the structure for play. It's like it's like if you don't know how to if you do okay. So my son takes fencing, right? So if I don't know the rules to get the points, I just go in and I just hit anywhere, and I get frustrated because I don't know what's going on. But after a while, I may get an idea of where and how and what to do, but it's frustrating. But if I go into to play at if I fence with somebody else who knows the rules, then it becomes very easy because we're just focused on what we do best, and 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 things happen, like the beautiful dance happens. But if we don't know the rules, how do you think we can help people who don't know the rules um, get it? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a good question too. So, so Sumin, any idea? Do we have like a little card of rules of rules of playing?
Well, actually, I thought with three people on a Google Hangout,
Mm-hmm.
we could just try to tell a story as a improv theater activity. This was not directly answering your question
Mm-hmm.
how to help people who don't know the rules, but we could actually use that topic of how to let people who don't know the rules as the topic of a Toastmaster talk or improvisation lecture. I was interviewed as a improv theater activity as the expert of the universe, and the facilitator started asking me questions, and I responded, and we had a dialogue. So I will start off by sprouting forth wisdom of so called wisdom of how to help those who don't know the rules get the rules. And I think one of the important elements is education, and we need to talk to the other graphic recorders about the basic rules from improvisation theater that help us with graphic recording. And at this, I'll ask Martin to continue the conversation. And when you run out of breath, you'll ask Brenda to continue, and then Brenda will ask me to continue, and we'll stop talking when we
Okay.
run out.
While you were talking, I was thinking, so how to let know the rules first? We have to know them ourselves. Somehow I feel them now, but I can't sum them up. But I have to look them up. But maybe why don't we make a great poster or image from it? That would be great. I don't have the time now doing it, but I think there are 5, 6, or 7, depending on the book you take, different rules, or I would not say really rules, which is a kind of way of being, a way of approaching things, and we could make a visual from it. So that would certainly appear the graphic recorders. Anyhow, the graphic recorders already, I think a good graphic recording does it already from themselves, maybe without knowing the rules. Because without you cannot be a good graphic recorder.
Yeah,
I know when I started the job, it really helped me. One day, it was really in the beginning of my career, and I had to get up very, very early. And I was a little bit tired because I'm not a morning person, and I came there by train with my roll of paper with the client, and I had no clue what I should do there because they explained me what they wanted to do during the day, and I was thinking, okay, but what is my role then? And I really had no clue. And the client comes to me and say, "Hello, Martine. I heard a lot of good about you. I have very high expectations." And I was thinking, oh my God. So I hung the white paper, and then I said, well, let's go with the flow. Everything that will come is an offer, and I will build from there. And it was a wonderful day, a wonderful graphic recording, and they kept it for months. And this year, some months ago, I met the guy again. I didn't see him before, and he said, I still have it. It's not relevant anymore because it was for the vision from 2012 till 2014. Now it's 2014. We should make a new one. But it's really about, yes, living the philosophy. And maybe it's a good idea to make a visual of it with the basic philosophy of improvisation. And now I would like to hand over to Brenda.
um, um, I think it might be good to have more people talk about. I think it would be good to define what the rules are first, so that we know what the rules are, and then from there pull out how it will look like, the behaviors that may come out when we are recording, so that there is that deep connection from the rules to the behaviors. Because the rules sounds very organic, and I think most people in our community will get it when we hear the rules. So far, what we have written the rules, but articulating the rules clearly or synthesizing the rules into maybe five offhand kind of thing will help with the graphics and will help with the remembering what these rules are. Handing over. Handing over.
Wow.
Yes, I take it over. Okay, are you going to do it soon?
No, Martin, please.
Well, I just was looking here in some books I have about improvisation. Yeah, okay, I will try. To translate it because I have a Dutch book and it's very simple. They have 6 rules. And the first one they say is say yes and instead of yes but.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second is be present, stay in the here and now. And the other one is take risks. Dare to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Let the other shine. And use the power of the smile.
The last one is?
Power
Use
of the
the
smile.
power of the smile.
The power of the smile.
So, and if you would translate it, the first one, like yes and, it's accepting, it's everything is an offer.
Mm-hmm.
So for a visual, for graphic recording or visual facilitation, it would be, yes, start from what is in the room and not from your ideas and your plan that you have in your mind, but just start from what you get. Then being present, yes, of course, you cannot do that if you're not present.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think take risks is yeah. How could we take risk with our graphic recording? Yeah, maybe dare to try with dare to draw and draw different or daring, yeah. And don't be afraid of mistakes. And anyway, there are we have those white labels to put over it. And then let the other shine. Yes, it would be. It's about them. It's not about you. It's not about you, the artist, but it's about them. It's about the speaker. And give them the best you have to tell the story, that they can tell their story.
Mm-hmm. And the power of the smile.
Yes.
Actually, I do have something to say about the power of the smile. One thing I realize when I do my recording is that I try to reflect as much as possible the emotions of the group, but somehow when I reflect the emotions of the group, I tend to reflect the positivity of the group. So the power of the smile to me the positive possibilities that that is being discussed. And I find that it's very interesting that when I have a, you know, when we humanize our recording, we draw people into our records, right? I find that it's very interesting that when I have happy people in my recording, that reflects back to the group that, you know, we had a good conversation. We may not have a good resolution, but there was enough emotionally for me to feel comfortable that we can leave off and have some connection because of the smile.
Yeah.
If it's very negative and I just go into a negative level with them all the while, and don't lift it up somehow, because I do have records where there is maybe one corner where it's all dark and misty and depressing. Somehow that corner is valid, but most people like to have the brighter, happier parts of the record, and they feel more connected towards that. So that to me is the power of the smile. That hope, I suppose. The power of a smile gives hope to the group.
Yeah, that's nice. And also, I think the power of the smile is also the love for the group or for the people you are recording.
Yeah.
It's about them, and yeah, it's like an open, treat them with love, not the critic. What is he saying? Blah blah blah. But yes, that's also power of the smile, I think.
Mm-hmm. I like the be present. Be present to me means to listen deeply, because you need to be present to listen. I think somebody on the facilitation Facebook page was commenting before that somebody said to her, so we are paying you to draw. Then she says, yeah, Nitya. She says, the person said to her, we are paying you to draw. Then she says, no, you're paying me to listen. And I yeah, I felt that was really true, because anybody can draw, but we are there to listen so that what we record is valid, is it? Yeah. So to be present means to be listening, because many people are present but they are not listening.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, it's about fully present there to do the work, not thinking about other things, and yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And technically, to be able to do that, you need to prepare well, to bring your backup supplies, to have your battery charged, to have your
Yeah,
water, to have your toilet break, so that you're fully ready for the job to
absolutely,
listen.
yes. Yes, and partly be prepared, but also be prepared to let go all your preparation.
Yeah, that's right. I remember when we had a recording in Beijing, and there was problem with the paper. It was so terrible. I was there a week earlier, and one of our recorders, Tim Hammonds, he was supposed to bring paper, but then the client was so sure that they had paper in Beijing that he says, oh, you don't have to bring. So in the end, they bought paper rolls, but it couldn't work. It was the wrong sort of paper. And then finally they bought a glossy paper that we said no, none of our markers or pastel can adhere to it. In the end, we decided to use the back of the glossy paper.
Ah, yeah, okay, okay.
So that worked. So we were prepared, we were ready, we had all our markers, we brought everything, and then in the end we were like, okay, only a few things can work. But it was a good outing. I mean, it was, yeah, it was what it was. And I think that when we have that kind of philosophy of accepting what's on offer, right, dare to fail, take risks, um, that helps us not to be too flustered in going in, because then anything that we can have, we can be resourceful. I remember another recording I had was in a school hall, and in Singapore, the school hall has no wall. They are all pillars with doors. Okay, so the doors open up, and then you have to, because it's hot in Singapore, and it's just to maximize airflow. So I was a bit concerned. So I asked them, could I have whiteboards? Then they said, no, the whiteboards are all locked in the classroom. So I said, so do you have desks? I can build up a wall of desks. Then they showed me the desk, and it was not a good option. So in the end, I took a walk around the hall and discovered that they had table tennis tables. So I put 2 table tennis tables close together, and I had my board, and it was so beautiful to work on, because the table tennis tables are so smooth, and
Okay.
yeah, so it was a good outing, another good hike kind of thing. It was perfect. Yeah. So be prepared to see possibilities in the
Yeah.
environment. Yeah.
Well, we do our community development in rural communities, and sometimes we do try to bring some of this mahjong paper, big papers along, but sometimes the person who brought the paper left it in the hotel room, and we only discover that we have no paper by the time we reach the community. So sometimes we have ended up with chalk on the floor, just regular white chalk and writing on the floor.
That's also possible. Yeah.
You use what you have.
Yep. We use what we have.
So we will try to, or we could extend this similar conversation with a number of the GR community. We could start a discussion on the Facebook page, and if there's more than 5 or 7 main ideas, harvest the ideas and circulate them and see how this discussion could go at a broader level just by Facebook postings. And we could actually see whether this same topic would be of use for another Google Hangout, or whether the next Google Hangout with graphic recording as the central theme would have a different subsidiary topic.
I have another question,
Yes.
and I'm looking. I did not yet a big effort, but I'm interested in also to have some resources in improvisation exercises, but for drawing. I know they exist, but I would like to have some resources, find some ideas in improvisational drawing. And I didn't find them yet, but I know they exist, and that could be interesting. Also, sometimes when we work with people. So if somebody would have some resources there, I would be happy to see them.
Okay.
Yes, we could. Again, the Facebook group is quite cooperative. We just start a line and you'll get a very thread of discussion. The problem with Facebook group is harvesting the comments into a place where everybody can access them, because as the topic gets discussed and goes down and another topic comes up, that thread of discussion sometimes gets lost.
Yeah.
As we post it into a document or start a blog or something somewhere. But certainly asking for people's examples of improvisation drawing exercises. The one I experienced was firstly a piece of paper with 18 circles and just draw faces on them. Another one was circulating a blank A4 paper between 7 people going around a circle. Each one starts off with some sketch on it and passes it to the next person,
Yeah.
and next person improvises on that, and it goes round. And after 7 people had a go, the image is quite interesting.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Brenda, any thoughts on improvisation drawing exercises?
Setting a minimum number of iteration for any one word. I'm actually thinking like you know, the Now project, right? The nowproject.com is it's a project where they get people to upload pictures for each word. So like for example, they say nose, then you will probably draw noses, but then setting a limit, a minimum number. So for yourself, maybe I say I'll draw 3 different noses, but they must not be the same, you know, or 3 different eyes, or maybe the word vision, draw 3 different visions that are not the same. So that you take risks to draw what vision is. Um, yeah, it is just playing lateral games, I suppose, in drawing. Yeah, thinking laterally helps in that kind of thing. Or maybe, for example, like when we talk about taking risks, saying yes and right, we could even do things like um, drawing drawing a piece of music just by coloring the piece of. I mean, just cross discipline kind of recording. Um, okay, so one of my experience was this. Um, one of my clients, when I was just um, one of my clients had me record. Um, okay, so the facilitator told the groups, 5 or 6 groups, discuss among your group how you will present this topic on healthcare. In your presentation, do a sketch. Do a sketch to do your presentation. So I was like, what? Do I have to draw 6 group of people doing drama? It was um, it puzzled me, but um, because they were in the groups and they were talking and they were doing their discussion, and I was already stressing over recording what was before that announcement. So I left a big blank space where the recording for what for that drama, 6 skits were to happen. So as they were doing the skit, I noted down on my what's that, my flip chart, not my what's the thing called, clipboard. I was noting down what the things that some of the people were saying, and by the time I hit the second or third skit, I began to see a pattern. And the pattern was that the words that were coming out from the protagonist, from the main character's mouth, tend to be something that's very worrisome, very fearful, regarding the future in terms of healthcare. So after a while, I went to the board, and I started drawing the faces of the main characters in a circle facing inwards, and throwing down the dialogue that they have used, the words that they use, the actual words they use, and then interspersing it with the word fear, concern, anxiety, and then that worked because essential to all the skit was that the future of what they felt was coming was scary, and it was not something that was easy for them to accept or deal with. And after that, I was very pleased because when the participant came, he said, yeah, that's what he said, yes. And I didn't have to draw people in form and action, you see. But to them, the face represented the characters, the words represented what they felt, and then the actual fear, the actual sensing was there on the board, and that worked. For me as a recorder, that taught me that it is not always linear. It is not always a speech. I should be able to record music. I should be able to record ideas. I should be able to record colors and beyond the human word in a sense. I don't know how to articulate that. Yeah. So yeah, so I think improv practice, we need to practice that nothing is impossible to be recorded, I suppose. I'm a Christian, so in church, sometimes when the pastor starts praying, I record the prayers because to me that why not? Why not? Because isn't it important to know what we pray? And yeah, so I don't limit myself what I record.
You know what? I did some research and I found that, but I have to look it up, that in a former century, they used something like what we would call now live graphic recording, and they used it in an American church to illustrate, and they illustrated what a priest was saying, and there were techniques for that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I have to look it up because I did some research and it was really. I just go into my computer and see if I can find something.
Is it sermon? Sermons?
There's a side. Yeah, there's a sideboard evangelist who goes with a blackboard and chalk and does chalk and talk.
Yeah, that's it. Chalk and talk. That's it. Yeah, absolutely. And they really they did the drawings of the sermons live at the moment in the church. So instead of doing it on your own in your own notebook, they did it in front of the audience, and they had some techniques for that.
Yep. But for that sermon, he's saying the sermon and he's drawing at the same time, right? Whereas for us is we're listening in and recording it.
Yeah, that's it.
Because for me, when I do both, I do both, but for me the energies are very different. When I do recording, the listening part comes in very, very, very deeply. It like takes up my whole brain. But when I do facilitation, my consideration is on how the message is received rather than how the message is being received. I think both ways I am concerned with how the message is being received by the participants. But in recording, I am more strict with myself in the sense that I'm careful to have the person's words that I'm listening to being transmitted rather than my own. Whereas if I am doing facilitation with
Brenda, can I introduce? You have to excuse me for 5 minutes. I will be back, but I have to go for 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
I will be back.
No problem.
Yes.
No video can still go toilet leh.
Yes, that's it. Yes.
Oh, you're very naughty.
Professional intuition.
No, but this is public, okay? Whatever you're saying. So this is my thing with Google Hangouts, that the publicness, the very publicness of of the chat is a concern for me. I like it that people can meet up and talk, and that you have a record of this, so that maybe when you go back and check and you listen, it's something that will help you to think back again. But I don't like it that there is that chance that somebody hacked into Google and then pull this out and then 20 years down the road, somebody says, hey, Brenda said this, when, you know. But yeah lah, so just live honestly lah. I mean, this is the way things are, that you can't hide all your nonsense.
So my main purpose is trying to get used to this tool and understanding its limitations and honing on its advantages. And as I said, in Singapore we have the privilege of having a small, close-knit community, and we can sit face to face and drink coffee together. But there are others far away, and like Martin is contributing very much to tonight's conversation, and we can tap on others.
I like what you do with the board. I think the board is good, but I think what you could do next time is, before you do, right, you draw the line of where it's going to be on your screen, so that when you record, you don't go out of that line. Because now you see, I can't see what's on top. Not yet. It's not full. Now it's on top, but I can't see the bottom.
I know what you mean, but the thing is, because of the size.
No, but this perfect. Okay, keep like that. Yeah, but then this so it's useful if you do it that way. This perfect, exactly my full screen. Yeah, I can see.
But then the font you may not be able to see because of the handwriting.
Correct lah.
If I write big, it'll fill up, and so like we're quite.
But sometimes it's not about the handwriting. Sometimes to me lah, because when I record, right, not everybody can see what I write, right? But the key point is that it gets filled up. When the board gets filled up, oh wait, I can't see on your right side. That one I can see. I can't see. I can't read the word. It doesn't matter. Neuland okay. Is it Neuland? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There. Stop. There. Okay. Perfect. No, because generals you can see, and as you write, I can figure out that you're writing the word, and that is more important. And to me, when you fill up a board, people feel that they are being heard, and that's the key lah. Yeah. 8. You saw I said about bullet point, right? Maybe you should experiment with bullet point markers. Because the fat and thin sometimes hard to read. But
yeah, I went to thin because we're having more and more text. Otherwise, I started big fat letters, but then we're getting more and more stuff. So
yeah. The thing with bullet point is that it's very small, but there are fat bullet points and thinner bullet points. If you can find fat bullet points, will be great. Because the fat thin, if your handwriting, if you're not consistent with the way you write, it's hard to read but the one that the limb did one was very good. No, I'm very impressed. Really, very was good. Yeah.
Thank you.
I wish I was there though. I can more critical. Actually, somebody asked me to do coaching for one of. So this organization don't want to pay me. They got an internal recorder. So they want me to just coach the internal recorder. So pay me for, it's a 4-day recording, but pay me for like first day and last day for a few hours to just coach the guy and say whether it's on the right track or not, that kind of thing. So, so I thought, oh, okay, good. You pay me, can lah. If you all got company, pay me. Okay lah.
This recording is on YouTube.
Huh? That's
This
not,
recording is on YouTube.
it's on you, yeah, I know. So I did not mention where, right? Yeah, but it's
Okay, I'm back.
hello. Okay. Hey, but
And
Sumi,
I did wash my hands.
okay. Can we edit this
Maybe
recording one?
I
I
don't
mean
think
on
so.
YouTube itself, right? There are editing software embedded in YouTube. Do you think you can like slice and cut out certain portions of our discussions? Should be right.
should be a lot of work
Yes,
left.
or we
Okay.
should do them confidential.
Yes, put it confidential. Only the three of us. No, I think I will definitely go and look into editing because if it can be edited, then we can it can be clearer, is it? Then because one thing I found about Roy's the last Google Hangout that we had, I had to sit through like a lot of white white spaces and white noise to get to the point that perhaps I was that got interesting for me. You know what I mean? And if there isn't like a fast forward button or point here, chapter one, I wouldn't be able to flow because it takes so long to just get to to where you want to be. You see? Mm.
Editing takes about 30 times the amount of time. 30. So if you edit 1 hour program, it will probably take about 30 hours. It's a lot of
But I
work.
mean like simple edits like blank space, just cut. You know, like the way iPhones do the edits where you cut this part to cut this part, and then yeah. I don't know.
Maybe
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know how you can do it, but somebody should do it, and I'm not gonna take time in it. It's maybe it's not so long, but it costs time, and I don't think I don't know.
Hmm.
You can also play forward if you want.
Mm-hmm. Play forward.
but we'll study this privacy circulation thingy. I think that's more
Mm.
important.
Yes, I
Yep.
think
How
so
do you set
because
it
you
to
never know when it's on the internet. You never know where it goes.
That's right. And yeah, I'm quite concerned about that because if we want to talk, if, so why the face-to-face meetings are very important is because in the face-to-face meeting, most of us don't record it beyond writing it down, and because it's face-to-face and really within four walls, the he says she says gets dissipated. But when we do it like this with recording and it is recorded and it's a third party recording, um, yeah, I don't know how secure it will be. Where if let's say a hacker just hacks it out and then somebody with mischief in their minds takes the conversation and misconstrue it or put something else on it, yeah,
Hmm.
it's disturbing for me.
Well, the other thing is
Our-
then is to look at Skype meetings. Then would you
ah,
be more
yeah.
comfortable with Skype meetings? I'm quite happy with Skype.
Hmm.
Less bells and whistles, but it works.
Hmm. This one
Marty,
is
what do you
definitely
think?
it can't be.
Marty,
I don't know. I don't know.
This
I
Google Hangout cannot be not recorded, is it? Cannot be deleted, is it?
I think Google Hangout on air is recorded. Google Hangout may not be recorded. I think. I might be wrong. There's Google Hangout on air, which this is and goes out to YouTube. But whether Google Hangout per se is recorded or not,
Hmm.
possibly not. After
Okay.
this call, I'll study it.
Yeah, because I don't think people are watching. We are here, and that's it. I don't think there are other people watching. So I don't know why you need the on-air thing. I don't know.
Who's watching us? Who wants to look at us?
Well, I guess we are just exploring the different tools as well,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
maybe the next time around we can try either Skype or Google not on air and
Mm.
see what happens.
Yep.
But
With
as for the content of the discussion, to me it was very, very fruitful,
Mm-hmm.
very rewarding. We had a very useful discussion on the basic concepts of improv theater as applied to graphic recording. We are talking about what are some of the essential rules that we could share with the other of the graphic facilitation world, and maybe ask them for some things and come out with a document or some basic ideas.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yes. Okay, I
So
think we had these interesting things. I think we can round up now
yes,
Yes.
because the best thing is said at this moment, and then see from where we can get to the next step. Yes.
that
Mm-hmm.
so okay. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much.
Guys.
Yes. Thank you. Good
Bye.
night. Bye.
Okay.